Original Doom was the father of first-person shooters, and Doom Eternal for many people is an absolute classic. And with this one literally going medieval, I had one burning question. Is this just another reskin, or Doom really breaking the boundaries with this one? My name is Arya, with the full review, Doom The Dark Ages. Original Doom holds a special place in my heart from loading up for the first time on MS-DOS. Music, that feeling of walking through those hallways, oh, perfection. And Doom 2, what an incredible game. But sadly, like it is with most sequels, the following games, mid-2000s, early 2010s, they were frankly awful, most of them. And when they announced the reboot in 2016, one, I had big reservations, but it was actually pretty good. And Doom Eternal, for many people, is an absolute classic. So again, when they announced The Dark Ages, I was thinking to myself, is this another one of those sequels? Is this whole shield and a saw another gimmick? Well, absolutely not. It is incredible. You know that feeling in Gears of War of using that chainsaw? This takes it up a notch and then some. In fact, I want a shield with a saw even in Oblivion. It is that fun because not only it acts as a weapon that you can saw through enemies, it actually acts as your protection, that you can deflect enemy, attacks and so on. And in fact, the game emphasizes on that. It also acts as a way to get close up and personal with enemies, to combine with a shotgun and whatnot. And also even chuck it at an enemy and it sticks in their body and it acts as like a stun movement. So it just does so many things. There's so many layers to it. And the more you upgrade it, it does even more stuff as well. And how it also kind of transitions into your melee movements and that you got the 3 options for. Again, that naturally fits in because sometimes I'll get close up with my shield, then smash him with my flannel, and or just smash him with my punch. It's just so much fun. And again, that also transitions into the guns because the guns and how you can upgrade them and how you can use that distance element that you taught, that I mentioned and so on, it just works so naturally because you can upgrade your guns, give them different options through the gold and the gems that you find, and each gun feels completely different from one another. For me personally, I like the super shotgun. Get close, punch them, shotgun them, get out. But I would say that is something that you cannot really do on higher difficulties because this game, let me say this, is really tough compared to most shooters that I play. In fact, I actually raised the difficulty in stuff like Call of Duty and Halo to the highest difficulty to make it more fun. No, this actually normal was very challenging. So if you play it on a higher difficulty, you most likely will want to do a different combination. So what I would experience with the game is gonna significantly differ from somebody else, which is absolutely incredible and how they executed it. And again, talking about those gems and golds that I was saying that you use to upgrade your weapons, you find them throughout the world. And here's the thing, with most shooters, all you got is these narrow corridors that you walk around. Sometimes with Halo and so on, you get a bigger arenas, but ultimately when it comes to finding these, it's all about knowing the location and just walking there and grabbing it. With this, absolutely not. You got the map, it shows you where the secret is, and now it's all about you getting there and looking at it and thinking, how do I get there? Because it's usually blocked and you got to figure out the puzzle that they put in there. And sometimes it even throws you in a really difficult boss situations as well. So there's so much layer from that point of view that expands the game. And in fact, I would actually advise most people to go and get these gems because it adds more character to the game, but also it means the game will feel a lot better because you would ideally want to upgrade your guns, especially for the mid parts of the game. And for me, to get like most of the collectibles, it took me about 20 to 25 hours, give or take. But I believe to really do 100%, you're probably talking about 30 something hours. So a lot of the meat on the bone, to say the least. And again, the game doesn't leave it just to that. It adds so much more. Honestly, this game feels like a love letter to fans because not only had all of those elements that I talked about, you actually get to go into these massive mechs and get into these sort of like boxing fights with these huge titans that are just, oh, so much fun. And you don't just get to do it for a limited, you actually experience it on 3 different levels, not to spoil anything. And it doesn't, again, leave it at that. It gets you to ride dragon and fly through the air and destroy stuff. But, and here's the thing, not the kind of dragons that you get in Skyrim. No. That is not Doom style. It gives you a gun on top of the dragon. I know, epic, right? It gets you to have boosters on the dragon itself, so you can boost your dragon. Like flying isn't fun enough. It actually, the dragon's wings are these electrical things that it's got like these elements that you can hover and so on. It's just like, what else can you do with this game? It's just everything that you imagine could be fun. It is literally there. It is that epic. And when it comes to the story, yeah, it's just a typical bad guy. And like it is with most shooters, the only solution is grab a gun and shoot them directly in the face. And you know what? I don't mind that one bit. Actually, I like the cheese. I love it. It is one of those cinematic moments that just does not stop giving. It is one of those moments that you go into cinema and you're like, oh my god, this looks awesome. I had so much fun. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I had so much fun. And to give you a bit of a context in terms of the story, if there's a concern with that, you do not need to play the 2016 reboots or Doom Eternal, because this is more like a prequel. They actually give a bit of a better idea of what happening in the game. But no, this throws you right into the deep of the end of the fight. And there you go. Just go and kill the bad guys. And as I said, nothing wrong with that. Had a hell of a lot of fun. The only thing I would say is probably the last chapter was a bit of a stretch. I personally wouldn't have had that, to be honest. But again, I'm only picking at little bits. So, addressing one of the controversies, however, though, there's been a few big YouTubers that are talking about how the game is broken and so on. No, absolutely not. So let's put it this way. There is an issue at the moment with drivers with NVIDIA. So, and this is not affecting Doom, by the way. This is affecting loads of different games in different ways. So when you get the prompt to upgrade the driver, try to skip that. But for me personally, I updated my driver. I had no major issue. However, and this is, again, you're going to get that as a prompt with the game. When I was playing the live playthrough in my streams, which I'll put the link in the description below, the frame rate dropped quite a bit. And I was thinking to myself, maybe because I'm streaming to multiple platforms. Sadly, no. Because when I stopped streaming on OBS, the performance actually increased significantly, and the game got me killed quite a bit, to be fair, after that, because the pace just was completely different. So definitely I recommend not using anything like OBS and so on. But in terms of NVIDIA Shield and not NVIDIA Shield, what am I saying? NVIDIA Broadcast or NVIDIA Shadow Play, where you're recording and the gameplay and that sort of thing, absolutely not. In that regard, I had no issues with it whatsoever. So again, highly recommend making sure you turn that OBS off during that. But for me, this game is an absolute must play. If you got Game Pass, what are you doing? Go and play it. Again, there's a ton of fun stuff on Game Pass right now. But for me, I would buy it because this is one of the best experiences I've ever had. And For me, this is an absolute classic and an absolute must. So go and get it. I hope this video has helped you, and if it has, smash that like button and do leave a comment of your combos that you're looking forward to. I'd love to hear them. And please do subscribe. It helps me as a channel, it helps me grow, and it allows me to give you more content on gaming and gaming tech. In fact, I've got 2 more reviews coming up for Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's going to be a big surprise, and Atomfall. So do look forward to those. Once again, thank you for watching. Hope you're doing fantastic wherever you are, and peace.